This week, a grieving father speaks out. His son, the latest young victim of gun violence.
Everybody knows my son.
Plus, the city's new top cop on his mission to keep New Yorkers safe. And going deeper on how the Gilgo Beach murder suspect was caught.
This person should never see the light of day again.
Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here are the crimes across the 5 boroughs. We begin this week in Brooklyn, where a 15-year-old boy is shot and killed in broad daylight.
Right now, an NYPD manhunt is underway for a 17-year-old gunman who police say opened fire on a group of teens who were coming out of summer school yesterday afternoon. Police say this gunman shot and killed a 15-year-old, and now his grieving father is speaking out. Members of Brooklyn's closely knit Uzbekistan community stopped by the Bensonhurst home of 15-year-old Faridun Mavlinov to console his heartbroken father. In this surveillance video, when a 17-year-old gunman, covered up in a mask and a hoodie, takes aim and fires.
Detectives were able to identify this 17-year-old male, and we're actively looking for him right now.
Faridun, who was training in judo, is seen in this photo with his proud dad, Firdavs Malinov.
I am barber. Everybody knows my son.
The other teens ran for their lives. The grieving father says he rushed to the scene and followed the ambulance to the hospital. At first, he was hopeful his son would make it. Then came the devastating reality.
After they go to hospital, his heart coming working. And then almost started 2 p.m. Surgery, and 7 p.m. he finished surgery. And blood, nothing stopped.
Many of the men in the neighborhood know the family and stopped by to lend whatever support they could, knowing nothing could undo an unendurable loss.
This is not only his loss, this is everyone's loss. Everyone, we are raising our kids and children. So we need more safety. We need more safety for our streets and our city.
Now, the heartbreak and despair in this community is real, and a sense of futility is growing, especially among the dads who came out here to support this grieving father. Some of them telling us that no matter what you do, even if you keep your child out of trouble, that's no guarantee you'll be able to keep them alive.
Over in Times Square, an argument among 3 teens erupts in gunfire.
Well, 3 teens recovering this morning after a shooting. This is near the Red Lobster in Times Square.
Yeah, police are now looking for that gunman. Fox 5's Robert Moses joins us in Times Square.
We know, according to police, that some sort of dispute preceded the shooting here. You know, year to date, shootings here in the city are down by more than 20% compared to last year, but it doesn't feel that way lately, especially on this morning after that shooting here in busy Times Square that injured 3 teenagers.
Times Square proved to not be a gun-free zone last night. Police say just before midnight, a gunman shot 3 male teenagers, a 15, 17, and 18-year-old, in front of 5 Times Square, which houses Red Lobster. Authorities say the 15 and 18-year-olds were hit in their legs and taken to Bellevue Hospital. The 17-year-old was shot in the arm and brought to Harlem Hospital by private means. All 3 teens are expected to be okay. Police say the shooter fled on foot. Shell casings littered the sidewalk in the wake of the late-night shooting.
Back in Brooklyn, Bodega workers lash out after a violent attack in Flatbush.
Too many people thinking they can come into a bodega and take ownership of that bodega by taking the merchandise and not paying for it.
Members of the United Bodegas of America speak out after a weekend assault in which 2 workers were stabbed and a third assaulted. The UBA says on Sunday evening around 5:30, surveillance video captures a man inside Pedregal Grocery in Flatbush, Brooklyn, refusing to pay the price for his items. The man is seen throwing what appears to be cans at the workers behind the counter, to which one of the brother owners grabbed a bat and throws the man out. And that's when things escalated further.
His brother took him out of the store, and the guy already had the knife on hand, and that's when the activity happened.
During the push out is when the stabbing happened?
when they were outside.
46-year-old Bodega owner Pedro Ramirez was stabbed in the chest and arm and underwent surgery. His brother, 60-year-old Marcial, was stabbed in the hand and was repeatedly hit by the bat. He too will need surgery. Surveillance cameras show the suspect using the bat to shatter the store's door. When it broke, flying glass hit Jose Ramirez in the face. He attended Tuesday's news conference.
He was standing behind the door, broke the glass hit his face.
United Bodegas of America says after the attack, the suspect, who is believed to live in or frequent the area, took off before police got on scene. The UBA is offering a $3,000 reward to anyone who turns him into the NYPD. They add that bodegas are being overwhelmed by theft and looting, which has seen many instances of owners fighting back, though at the great risk of possibly being prosecuted themselves.
It's not worth your life, and it's not worth you being prosecuted for defending your property. Until we can get the laws right, until the district attorneys and the judges do the right thing, we are asking bodega owners to stand down.
And in Crown Heights, a mother and her baby are shoved at knife point on the subway.
The NYPD released this surveillance video of a man and a woman who are accused of shoving a mom who was carrying her baby in a stroller. Police say it happened July 5th at the Utica Avenue Crown Heights subway station in Brooklyn. The 37-year-old woman and her 9-month-old baby were on the stairs when she got into an argument with the two suspects. Officials say the man and the woman showed the victim a knife and then pushed her, causing her baby to hit his head against the wall. The mother was okay. The baby did suffer minor injuries.
Next, on the Upper East Side, a man is stabbed in the neck on a subway platform.
A 37-year-old man is recovering after being stabbed in the neck on a subway platform on the Upper East Side. Now, this happened just before 4:30 yesterday afternoon inside the 86th Street and Lexington Avenue station. That victim was taken to the hospital in what's described to us as stable condition. A suspect was taken into custody at the scene and a knife was recovered. There's no word as to what led to that stabbing.
Heading up to Harlem now, the NYPD's new commissioner opens up on his first day as top cop.
The day began with a huge crowd cheering on the mayor's choice of Edward Caban as the new police commissioner, and he wasted no time getting down to business. And in an exclusive interview, he tells me that driving down crime is a personal mission. Our Fox 5 camera was the only one allowed into the 25th precinct as newly appointed police commissioner Edward Caban stopped by a roll call to let the officers know they were appreciated.
I just want to stop by today and just say thank you.
Officers are doing work day in and day out, and they're doing the hard work, and they have to be recognized for that.
Outside the precinct, Commissioner Caban told me he's ready to meet the challenges of driving crime down and changing New Yorkers' safety perceptions.
My first day began 32 years ago when I became a cop. It's the same mission, to help people, to make sure we're safe, to make sure the city is safe, and that will always be my mission.
This morning, hundreds of people came out to the 40th precinct to cheer on the city's first Latino police commissioner. The crowd included Latino elected officials, community leaders, police officers, and residents.
This young man of Puerto Rican ancestry can go from watching his dad be a transit cop to being the top cop in the city of New York.
Commissioner Caban told me it was a moving, surreal moment for him.
Together, we will build upon our successes and continue to drive down crime and improve the quality of life in our communities.
Now, in terms of his plans, Commissioner Caban tells me that he plans to target particular areas. They're looking at youth crime. There was a rise in that recently, and other specific areas. He says New Yorkers' perceptions about crime and safety will change once they start to see more results.
And finally, leaving the city, a closer look at how investigators pin down an accused serial killer.
Well, the arrest of the Gilgo Beach murder suspect has many singing the praises of Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison.
Fox 5's Jody Goldberg sat down with him today and asked him what he credits for helping lead to this major break in the case.
This person should never see the light of day again.
In a sit-down interview, Suffolk County Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison touted the work of the task force he formed to find the Gilgo Beach killer or killers, but vowed not to rest until the story of every victim can be fully told.
We had one sergeant, 3 detectives, we had one person from the state police, we had one FBI agent, and the district attorney had a team of people that were coming in and out of the task force, and one liaison person investigator from the sheriff's office.
It was the state police and their database, according to Harrison, that gave the team the ability to identify the truck one of Rex Heuermann's victims was last seen in. It's now at the crime lab in Hauppauge. The multi-agency investigation into the 59-year-old architect ended abruptly last week after he was arrested outside of his office in Midtown.
The case was in the grand jury and intended to be a possible leak. That with a combination of him being a violent human being.
More than 200 guns have been recovered from Heuermann's home in Massapequa Park, which is another reason why he was arrested in Manhattan.
The strategy was to see if we could catch him by his workplace, take that long ride from 35th and 5th out to 30 Yaphank, which could be an hour-and-a-half ride, and see if he was willing to talk and give up anything about his role.
Harrison said Heuermann didn't say much.
As soon as we told him and informed him he's going to be placed under arrest, we put him inside the vehicle, we read him his Miranda, he asked for a lawyer, and that was the end of the conversation.
Harrison tells us Heuermann's wife was surprised when she was told her husband had been arrested.
When we told the wife, she was shocked, she was embarrassed, but there was a point where we showed her certain pictures, and she said, okay, it is what it is.
Harrison says the department gets 10 to 15 tips a day, but he's not commenting on any leads.
We're going to continue to keep the task force intact and make sure we hold those individuals accountable that committed all the crimes with the bodies that were recovered on Ocean Parkway.
Harrison expects investigators to be at the house until at least this weekend, but wouldn't be surprised if it's longer based on all of the items they're going through.
And that's this week's Crime in the City. Subscribe for more at youtube.com/Fox5NY.